At what point do we no longer share values with India? Are we waiting for the Muslims in Assam to be put in those camps?
The certification of citizenship in Assam dates to a 2013 Supreme Court ruling that ordered the government to do so, to address questions of illegal immigration. The process, which continues to unfold and continues to be challenged in the court, it now has 1.9 million people who have not been certified, and that includes both Muslims and Hindus. There are 300 appeal panels that are being set up for those individuals to appeal this determination. And as my colleague stated, we're concerned that many of these individuals who may not have the wealth or the education to successfully be able to document their citizenship.
If you enjoy political drama with a side of reality checks, hit like and subscribe right now, because today's clip is peak Washington theater. A congresswoman walks in ready to deliver a global lecture and leaves after getting a masterclass in diplomacy instead. Grab your popcorn, because this exchange is polite, professional, and absolutely brutal if you read between the lines.
Ambassador Wales, as you know, last month I let a letter to Ambassador Juster and Jones, with you CC'd on it, on the situation of Kashmir. Our partnership with India is strategic, but it's also based on our shared values of democracy, religious pluralism, and the respect of human rights. Under Modi and the BJP government, all of these mutual values have been threatened. And I think we have to understand the situation in Kashmir as part of an overall Hindu nationalism project of the BJP. So my first question to you is about the right of self-determination. Is the United States committed to emphasizing the centrality of Kashmir voices in determining the future of the Jammu and Kashmiri people?
I would disagree with the characterization that we don't have a values-based relationship with the government of Prime Minister Modi. And I would just underscore that Prime Minister Modi came in a consecutive term. He achieved a majority vote in a very diverse
we can agree to disagree on that. I just would like to understand if we are going to centralize the voices of the Kashmiri and
But just to provide context, I mean, the actions he took were approved in Parliament, including by members of the opposition. The Supreme Court is reviewing that decision. The High Court is reviewing habeas corpus petitions. The institutions of India's democracy are working. We absolutely believe that Kashmiri's voice needs to be heard, that in any restoration, when there is restoration of a of an assembly, when there are state assembly elections, that's the way for Kashmiris to be able to register their views, also in peaceful assembly. And so I think the concern over the restrictions on movement and what we've seen over the last 78 days is that ability to protest peacefully has been difficult for Kashmiris to exercise.
Yeah. I mean, and the part of the reason I asked and the part of the reason I emphasize the context of the larger PGP project is because I think in both cases, the impunity we have seen for crimes against Muslims under the BJP was warming for such worse things to come. In Assam, almost 2 million people are being asked to affirmably approve their citizenship. As my colleague and the chairman said, there have been official statements to the effect that no Buddhist, Christian, Sikh, or Jain refugees need to worry about their status. And so this is a clear anti-Muslim program. And I'm sure you've seen the same reports that the Indian government is starting to build camps in Assam, presumably to hold those who are unable to prove their citizenship. This is how the Rohingya genocide started. At what point do we no longer share values with India? Are we waiting for the Muslims in Assam to be put in those camps?
The certification of citizenship in Assam dates to a 2013 Supreme Court ruling that ordered the government to do so, to address questions of illegal immigration. The process, which continues to unfold and continues to be challenged in the court, it now has 1.9 million people who have not been certified. And that includes both Muslims and Hindus. There are 300 appeal panels that are being set up for those individuals to appeal this determination. And as my colleague stated, we're concerned that many of these individuals who may not have the wealth or the education to successfully be able to document their citizenship are vulnerable. We will continue to watch this very closely, but I would stress that the appeal process is still open. The judicial process is still working in India. And as a democracy, we respect other democracies' abilities to self-police and self-regulate. And so this process is underway. Our voices have been heard. Your voice is going to be heard. Obviously, there's international attention focused on this national citizenship registration.
All right, folks. Welcome back to KRIS Reacts. Today we're talking about a tense hearing moment featuring Ilhan Omar questioning former diplomat Alice Wells about Kashmir, India, and U.S. foreign policy. And this exchange really highlights a bigger debate about how America deals with allies. Omar opens by framing India under Narendra Modi as drifting away from democratic values. Her main question? Should the U.S. center Kashmiri voices when discussing the future of Jammu and Kashmir? Now, that's a serious topic. Kashmir has been disputed for decades, and the region's political future is complicated, emotional, and geopolitically sensitive. So this is not a small issue. But what made this exchange stand out was how Wells responded. Instead of taking the bait or escalating, Wells calmly pointed to democratic institutions inside India. She noted that the changes in Jammu and Kashmir were approved by Parliament and are being reviewed by the courts, including the Supreme Court of India. Her core message was simple. India is a democracy with functioning institutions, and those institutions are still working through the issue. That's a key foreign policy principle. The U.S. often criticizes authoritarian regimes, but when it comes to fellow democracies, the approach is usually more cautious. Allies get pressure, yes, but they also get respect for their own legal processes. Then the conversation shifted to citizenship verification in Assam. Omar raised concerns that the process could harm Muslims and compared it to the early warning signs of the Rohingya crisis. Wells again pushed back with context. The citizenship verification effort actually started after a court ruling aimed at addressing illegal immigration, and both Hindus and Muslims were affected. She also acknowledged real concerns about vulnerable people struggling to prove documentation, which shows this wasn't a one-sided defense. And that's the takeaway. Whether you agree with Omar's criticism or Wells' defense, this exchange shows the tension between activism and diplomacy. One side pushes hard on human rights concerns. The other emphasizes strategic partnerships and institutional processes. From a conservative perspective, this moment highlights the importance of strong alliances and measured diplomacy. India is the world's largest democracy and a major strategic partner in Asia. The U.S. has to balance human rights concerns with geopolitical reality, especially in a region where global power competition is intense. This hearing wasn't just about Kashmir. It was about how America talks to allies, how it balances values with strategy, and how political messaging plays out on the world stage. Let me know what you think in the comments. Was this tough questioning or political grandstanding? And if you enjoyed deep dives like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the KRIS Reacts community.